Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Just real quick, in case you didn't hear the good news, earlier today we had a joint press conference with our economic development partners, with Senator Moran, with Lieutenant Governor Tolan, with Chairman Meissner, and with the leadership over at Novacoast, announcing that they will be opening up a Novacoast facility right here in Wichita. They are a an international cybersecurity company, and what they plan to do is diversify their locations. And Wichita is one of the places that they picked, and it will almost immediately start hiring folks for this opportunity. And then once their facility is up and running, it will start off, I think, with 60 high-paying jobs, and then they will be looking to expand after that. One of the things I like best about this company, and when I got the opportunity to talk to Mr. Anderson, who's in the company's leadership, a couple of months ago when we talked about how Wichita would be good for them, is that they also in other locations have a commitment to working with the schools, to working with the local colleges, to providing programs and opportunities for students to get into the field of not just technology, but specifically in cybersecurity, and how they like the collaborative approach that Wichita has with our culture here, where we like to work together, not just intergovernmentally, but also with the private sector, which will allow them to create more opportunities for students who are interested in this field, and also resulting in those students hopefully being able to get jobs in this space, and ensure that they don't have to go to California to work for a company like Novacoast. So if you haven't seen that yet, I think it's on our socials. Pretty sure Megan made sure that got out there. So really exciting news. We do want to strengthen our economy, not just with what we do really well, which is advanced manufacturing, but also get into that, get into more of the cybersecurity and more of the technical space. So I also want to chat a little bit about one of the programs that we just started. Actually, I'm going to talk about that next. I want to jump right in and start talk about staying, but I'm not going to yet. So one of the ways we want to make Wichita more attractive for companies, of course, is through our investments in quality of life. The city programming is one way that we provide those opportunities for fun and for learning within our community. So we offer workout classes, we offer classes in arts, classes in crafts, and more through the Evolve program. So Evolve is the website that we have here, and the person who's going to tell us more about this is the Park and Rec spokesperson. Maybe not, that might not exactly be your title, but the person who normally comes and helps us get the word about great opportunities happening in Parks and Recs, and that's Katie. Katie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. The Wichita Public Library, City Arts, and Wichita Park and Recreation are combining all of our activities and classes into one easy-to-follow guide. Inside the Evolve Activities Guide, there you'll find hundreds of classes, workshops, camps, leagues, events, and activities. Some offerings are even free to the community. The best part about Evolve is we offer classes for all ages, from toddlers to adults. You can find something for everyone. We've got something for everyone, covering a wide range of activities, from readers to film buffs to fitness enthusiasts to the arts and crafter types. You can search by interest and date, grade level, location, and much more. Several of our categories within the Evolve Activity Guide include books and reading, community events, current events, education, camps and childcare, and much, much more. We encourage everyone to sign up and view a full list of class listings at wichita.gov/evolve. And currently, all of our classes and events are COVID-friendly and following health guidelines, so we encourage you and your family to come out for a safe and enjoyable event.
Just want to applaud. I usually brag about the library, about our housing program, and also about our Parks and Recreation program. Just want to applaud everything that is happening over in that department with the crunches in in COVID, trying to ensure that we have public health and safety as at the forefront. We've seen a lot of other programs and sports and different stuff happening throughout our community have to get canceled, and our Parks and Rec team has really stepped up to the plate to not only offer activities for folks throughout our community through all ages, as Katie said, but also doing so through a lens of ensuring safety in this time of COVID. So thanks again for everything that you have done, and I look forward to, as our numbers start going down with community spread and testing, these programs even ramping up even more and still remain to be as safe as possible. So with that, we're going to talk a little bit about the Wichita Facade program. Last week we announced the Wichita Emergency Rental Assistance Program, and since launching on Monday, we have had over 1,100 applications for this program. In fact, I think a couple times Megan's had to come in and scratch off my numbers and update the numbers, because we have so many folks who are looking towards this program to see if it is something that they qualify for. We, again, just to tell you a little bit that we've already told you about, but a little bit from, I think, the last couple press conferences, this is about $12 million coming in from the federal government to help folks who have been affected by COVID. And frankly, you can't put that kind of money into our community without having an economic multiplier effect. This is money not only going to save folks who might be at risk of losing where they live, but also making sure that once we bounce back from COVID, people can do so without having to spend down all their savings accounts, without having to sell all their assets, so that they're in a position to really hit the ground running once we are on the other side of this thing. So here to tell us more about this is Sally Sang, our Director of Housing, and she's going to give us an update. Normally I say my favorite director, but I know that we got Katie here, and I don't want Troy here, and I've been saying that stuff.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Quick update, yes, on the facade program. Staff has been crazy busy accepting those applications. They've begun contacting the first 160 families that applied. Those are the ones that applied on Monday between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. To get any missing documents. So far, we haven't had a single application come in that had every piece of information necessary. So this is really consistent with what we said last week. We expected that to be the biggest challenge. So the regulations do require we have full documentation of household income, documentation of that economic impact, documentation of who the landlord is. We've gotten some really interesting responses to people's question of who's your landlord. Staff is working very hard. We're also staffing up, so we're going to be working with our temp agency to bring in more staff to help us process these applications. So the word, please have some patience. Staff is reaching out to those first applicants. Anybody who is eligible for this program is also covered by the eviction moratorium. So we do have a little bit of time. The moratorium doesn't expire till March 31st, and we do expect that will get extended. It is going to take some time for us to process this many applications and get the payments out the door. So thank you very much. The next program I'm here to talk about, and we just love rolling out new programs, is the Neighborhood Business Facade Improvement Program. So this is a program funded by Community Development Block Grant Funds, and it is to assist small businesses, minimum of 5 employees, maximum of 20, that have businesses that serve low-income neighborhoods. Because we're using Community Development Block Grant, that is a requirement. And so we do have a high priority funding area, opportunity zones, and neighborhood revitalization areas as defined in different programs and policies. And we've created one map that shows those 3 target areas overlaid. So this is where we can actually serve businesses that may be looking for assistance. This is a deferred loan program, so we enter into a 0% interest deferred loan that's only due and payable at the sale of the property or the close of the business. So minimum loans of $10,000, maximum of $25,000, with a required 25% match from the owner of the building. So if someone's wants to get $10,000 loan through us, would have to be investing $2,500 into the project. The project was pretty wide different things that can be repaired, masonry repairs, but it's everything facing forward. So windows to the forward, exterior lighting, awnings, canopies, building code items, visible roof line issues, signage. It's pretty broad in the type of repairs that can happen, but it definitely is all about the facade and what's facing forward, but does not include landscaping. Information about this program and how to apply can be found on our website at wichita.gov. Go to the housing page, Community Investments Facade Program. The application opens on Monday. There will be a link, just like with the WERAT program, right there, right now. It says, check back here. Applications will open on Monday, March 1st. Information about eligible programs, questions about the program can all be found on that website. So we're very excited to roll this out. We think this is a great opportunity for small businesses in our low-income neighborhoods. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Sally. We appreciate the update, and we appreciate everything that you do to help, really to help our whole community. So with that, we can open up to some questions about almost anything.
I want to go back to the Novacoast announcement. As a city, how do you pitch the city for these businesses to come in? What is your strategy? What do you tell them about Wichita that hopefully will draw them in?
So we have an economic development team that starts that conversation. I was able to get in a room with the leadership of Novacoast. Sorry, someone on Twitter it should be called Novacoast instead of Novacoast. Is going to be in Wichita. So I keep going back to that bad dad joke on my for the former secretary of he's secretary of something at the state level who made that. So it's Novacoast. Really, when it comes to selling Wichita, it's an easy sell. When I got to get in a room with these folks, I talked about how Wichita is one of the best kept secrets really in the country. We have a focus on STEM. We have a focus on science, a focus on technology. We have the best machinists in the world. We have some of the best universities in the world. We have the people here with the culture who not only know how to work and get the job done, but also are folks who know how to collaborate and look out for each other. They discussed some of their issues that they were having in other communities when it came to COVID and the policies that were getting put in place with COVID, and some of the really, I think some of the concerns they would truly benefit from having not just a place to lay down roots, but really a two-way relationship like they would here, and that's what we offer them. So we talked to them about not only how this makes sense for pretty much every box on your spreadsheet that you need to check off, but also we go above and beyond when it comes to supporting companies that are looking at laying down roots here. Because again, it's not just about a business, it's about a relationship. Because these aren't just jobs for those in our community, these are opportunities for people to truly advance and make the best life for their family.
And how does this fit into the diversification plans for downtown?
Like a glove. No, it fits pretty well because the reality is, we talk about downtown. Downtown already has high-speed internet. We have folks downtown who will, when it comes to technology and technology-dependent businesses, besides our banking and our legal sector, also our DO school, our new medical school put in downtown. If you look inside kind of inside the folder that they presented to their accrediting agency before they got the initial approval, the majority of how they are tackling education is technology-based. So instead of having cadavers, they have advanced methodologies that will give students more hands-on experience. So when it comes to technology and where our downtown is going, it makes a lot of sense to add cybersecurity to that mix. And again, we have all the resources and tools that a company like that would need. It is just also telling our story, which has an amazing story when it comes to our entrepreneurial culture, our history, and our current work culture, our current people here who know how to get the job done and do so in almost every challenge better than other places can do it. Rather it's building planes, rather it's building ventilators, and here rather it's ensuring that the work done inside the world of cybersecurity is done well.
Did you approach them or did they come to
So our economic development team, I think, initiated the discussion, and towards the end, I was able to get brought in just to meet folks. I've asked this position as mayor, I asked to not be the ribbon-cutting mayor. Don't be the guy who just shows up and cuts ribbons. I feel awkward doing that. Like, I'm the son of a carpenter. I want to work, even if it's just picking up stuff on the site, right? Like, I need to stay busy. So I asked the partnership early on in my tenure, and also our economic development team, use me where you think you can use me. And apparently, these guys must have had a same sense of humor. The partnership and our team must have felt comfortable bringing me into the room. I'm glad they did, because we had a really good conversation. And frankly, I think this group would be a good match for Wichita, because they're out there wanting to get stuff done and wanting to grow, and that's what we do as a city.
How long did it take? How long did the process take from the time your group contacted them to they signed the deal?
Yeah, I should pass it off to our economic development guy. Pass it on to our assistant city manager, the one and only. I mean, you're walking over here slow. You give me a lot of time to say stuff. The man, the myth, Mr. Rigby.
Thanks, Mayor. Actually, Novacoast originally wasn't looking at Wichita, but we reached out to them through the partnership and through the state, through their site consultants, to say, think about Wichita. And that intrigued the CEO of Novacoast to take a visit here. That was literally in December of last year. So just in 90 days from start to finish, we've had success of inviting that CEO, coming to town. He's been here several times, meeting with the entire community, from WSU, from the McConnell Air Force Base to our downtown group, looking at real estate, and then today with the announcement. So literally within 90 days, they made a decision not only to find out about Wichita, but find real estate, find out a great workforce, and then they made an announcement.
And one more question about that. How do you leverage this into further successes?
Exactly what we're doing right here, to share the message about Wichita, that it's a great place, not just for the excellence about advanced manufacturing for airplanes and other aspects, but also for high-tech workforce. And we were just recently listed in the Milken study, which is a nationwide study about top-performing cities, and out of the top Tier 1 cities, we're listed at number 11 for high-tech concentration. So this type of announcement furthers that effort, and we'll continue to push that forward out into the community and nationwide.
Are they going to be hiring local people, or are they transferring people from other states?
Their goal is to utilize the region's workforce, and not just Wichita, but our surrounding communities and throughout Kansas, to find those top candidates that can come in and to make an impact for Novacoast. But I think the interesting thing for us that we talked with them, and the mayor talked to them extensively about, is how do we get the next group of web or high-tech people, and that's their effort and interest in working with our high school students to see, is there a pipeline that we can find with them to say, why you're going to high school or why you're going to college during the day, but maybe in the afternoon or something, coming and working with Novacoast. So we love that opportunity to further that next generation of high-tech workers here. Mayor, back to you.
Yeah, the spotlight. It's just too comfortable up here in the microphone. I might be running for office. I don't know. Just kidding. I really appreciate Rigby and like him, and he gets my dad joke, so it works out okay. Got to tell you guys, though, when it comes to what are we going to do next, how do we build off of this, success is about momentum. And when we look at what we've been doing over the last year, trying to take advantage of really a terrible situation. What is the silver lining when we're kind of all stuck at home when it comes to trying to grow jobs and change the face of really our economic portfolio here in Wichita? This type of opportunity for our folks here in Wichita really correlates with the furthering of our other online-based community. When I meet with our startup community who is looking for influence on state-level policy to help them grow, when we're talking to the Wichita Wolves who want to be our professional online, I don't know if it's online, but our professional gaming team. Those are folks who are coming up through Wichita, and they are proficient online, and they're young people right now, and they're going to be looking probably to take those skills and bring them over into a professional career. And sadly, a lot of those type of careers are on the coast. That's where Novacoast is right now. They're in California. And if we can help folks realize the potential and the opportunities here in Wichita for those type of companies, then our kids who are growing up online, who my first grader just did his entire first year, or almost entire, on Zoom. And it wasn't easy, but he can use Microsoft Teams better than me. And, these guys are going to grow up with that one foot in a technological world. I don't want him to have to go to California if he wants to do cybersecurity, because I'm selfish. I want him to stay here with me. I want to stay here with mom. And so with that, we got to create more opportunities for our kids, who want to follow that technological path to be able to do that right here in our home city. So I've been to a few other conferences or press briefings, and they always have someone, like one with the city or with the state last week, one with the county, who yells, "No more questions." And I think that Megan doesn't do that, so I wind up talking too much. So I want to make sure that I get right to the questions and get on out of here, because unlike everyone else, I don't have someone who just tells me to stop. Yes?
Do you have more questions?
Of course.
About the facade program? Can we bring in?
What makes you think I wouldn't be able to answer it? No, I'm kidding. We want staying up here. She not only can answer stuff well, but she can really jump into details.
Thank you, Sally. A lot of business owners are renting. Can you explain how can they negotiate or leverage this program through their landlord?
So the owner of the property would have to be willing to participate, because the lien and the mortgage are actually filed against the property and not against the business entity. But we have had situations where an owner, they see it as a benefit too, because they're able then to leverage these resources to improve their building. But in the end, the lien is against the owner's building.
And if the building is never sold, is the loan never repaid?
Yeah, so really, it carries until either the business that qualified it, because remember, now we're talking two scenarios, right, where we have a business that serves low-income folks and an owner of the property. If the business were to close, the loan would need to be repaid, or if the building was sold, it would need to be repaid. But no interest, all deferred until that occurs.
And earlier you described a scenario with numbers and percentages. Can you give another example of how a business would take advantage of it, and what would it be their commitment to the program?
Sure, so at the 25% contribution to the project is just a requirement of the program. Obviously, if they want to put in more, that's great, right? If someone maxes out getting $25,000, which is our maximum loan for this program, and wants to put in more than 25% because they want to do a bigger project, we would not have any issue with that whatsoever. We just want to make sure that they have skin in the game and have, really want to make this a success of this improvement to the building. Yes. Anything else? All right, thank you.
And this does fit well into some of the other programs that we have going on, including the Vice Mayor's project, where he's working on microloans for small businesses, and particularly businesses that are owned by people within a minority group or by women. So our goal is to just hit it everywhere when it comes to economic development. It's not just attracting companies like Novacoast, but also making sure that in some of our areas where this program would really increase the profile for our small businesses, that they have access to this type of capital that really you might not be able to get at a bank right now. So what is our role in ensuring that all of Wichita has the same opportunities and the opportunities to thrive? And we got Staying here, who wakes up every day wondering that, not just for small businesses, but also for individuals. All right, Megan, jump in, yell at me. Nothing? Okay. All right, she's giving me one of those. All right, guys, thank you so much. Again, if there's any questions or anything that I can expand on or get you in touch with our professional staff to expand on, please let me know. Thank you again.